That's bullshit. You are such a piece of shit, Jonathan Greenblatt. You are such a, say it truthfully. Say what it actually is. I know what the act is. Okay? I know what it is. You're a liar. You are a liar. God, you are such a piece of shit. The Not on Our Dime Act was about divest. Jonathan Greenblatt.
As God is my witness, that every Jewish New Yorker knows that ADL has your back. And we will make sure with everything we've got, we hold this mayor accountable. I'm not the one who got elected to office. I'm not the one who's responsible for the largest Jewish community on the planet Earth, like in the city with the most Jews. I mean, it's him. And so it's not for me on bended knee to go to him. It's for him to tell Jewish New Yorkers, again, however they choose to worship, if at all, whatever their political leanings, I don't know, he has got to make Jewish New Yorkers feel safe. And I am telling you, Brian, the data shows us.
Bro, I'm serious. Like I'm not one of these guys that says like, oh, there's this, Jewish exceptionalism, but god damn, dude. I was so close on the Crooked Media panel when they were talking about like the real fears that Jews feel about Zohran Mamdani and turning around to Simone Sanders and being like, have you ever heard this level of consideration for black people in your entire life? I was this close. I literally was going to pick up the mic and turn to Simone and be like, Simone, you're a black woman. Have you ever heard in your life a conversation like this? Especially when it's unimaginably warranted. Because in this case, it's not even warranted towards Zohran Mamdani. Like, what the are we doing? What the are we doing, brother? What is this? There is valid concern, okay? There is valid concern around anti-Semitism. And then there is whatever this is. This is insane. Why didn't you? Because anytime I brought up Israel, the whole panel collapsed. And I wanted to continue along with the conversation in a more positive direction because I had already brought up Israel on numerous occasions at that point. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Like this is hysterical, okay? This is mass hysteria. And it is born out of, I'm sick and fucking tired of acting like that's not the case. This is mass hysteria born out of, if you think someone like Zohran Mamdani is anti-Semitic when he has never said anything remotely anti-Semitic, okay, and has gone above and beyond, not only to take a stance against anti-Semitism, which is appropriate and just, but to go above and beyond to soothe the oftentimes tendencies of the historical masses, which I do think is also being greatly overemphasized by Jonathan Greenblatt here, because I don't think it's that crazy, right? Like, I don't think every Jew in New York is like, I'm going to pack my shit up right now. It's over. Like, I don't think that's happening at all. But I do think that if you are a Jewish New Yorker and you truly, this is speaking of the preaching to the choir here, obviously, all of the Jewish HasanAbi heads know what's up. but like, I guess the message is like, if you are a Jewish New Yorker, okay, and you personally believe that Zohran Mamdani is responsible for a rise in anti-Semitism or is personally anti-Semitic, you have to check yourself, okay? Because this fear is hysterical and it is not born out of any real reason. It is not facts-based. It is not evidence-based. It is born out of hysteria, okay? You just see a Muslim dude who is an anti-Zionist, who has the majority position on Israel. I cannot stress this enough. He has the majority position on Israel while also being brown and Muslim, okay? You go about your day as a Jewish person in New York and you talk to people, and more often than not, you're meeting people that have the exact same opinion as Zohran Mamdani on Israel. If you can go about your day hanging out amongst the masses but then you think Zohran Mamdani is a more significant threat than the guy delivering your Amazon packages, than the dude operating the bodega around the corner, then you are, okay? It is crazy. Not only does he absolutely maintain the majority position on this issue, okay? Not only does he have the majority position on this issue, but he also won the election partially because of his majority opinion on this issue. You have to drop this shit. Jonathan Greenblatt has to drop this. Like, I don't think he understands. He is never going to realize this, I don't think. And his donors don't want him to. His donors want him to be an attack dog. Voters read Cuomo's pro-Israel fixation as prioritizing on an issue that they don't prioritize. Mamdani's less numerous, but negative comments on Israel didn't hurt him in the same way. We should thank Israel for helping Mamdani win. Israel critics can exploit the lobby's paranoia. Affordable housing and prices were the top two priorities for voters heading into the final days of the New York City mayoral. Crime was third. Voters say Mamdani prioritized affordability more than Andrew Cuomo, who instead prioritized crime. See? Israel-Gaza conflict is so low on this. Islamophobic people are crying after seeing this video go viral.
Hey, this is the Islamic Center that was calling back in. So, hold on. let's go for it. They called me back. The Islamic Center of Charlotte just called back.
What is this?
Islamic Center of Charlotte,
Hi, yes. I was trying to call. I have a 2-month-old baby, and I ran out of formula last night, and I was wanting to see if there's any way you all could help with a can of baby formula.
We can, ma'am. Where do you live? Do you live in Charlotte?
Yes, I'm like 10 minutes from you all.
She was asking for help with food and baby formula. She's been calling churches pretending she has an infant that needs formula. I mean, come on, that doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry. Like, this woman has called 20 churches pretending to have a baby and need formula. Like, 90% of the churches have said no. No, it's, come on. Only the mosque has said yes to her. I mean, look, this reads as bait. I'm sorry. It's super viral, but, and it's anecdotal. Like, I don't think places of worship are like meaner. Some places of worship are like meaner than others. It's just, don't do that. Yes, all Christians hate people. Keep going like that. Great thinking. No, like I don't think Christian places of worship are lacking in their interest or in their interest to like feed the population. I don't think that's the case. Unless it's a mega church, in which case we know that they suck. But that's not what I'm talking about. Even like there's hella churches. There are hella churches in America that actually do have food pantries and shit. Leftists keep making this move where they point out accurately that it wasn't the establishment that moved first to embrace politically toxic identity politics. It's totally true, but the left responded by copying Clinton's bad ideas, then going further with defund. Yeah, this is a famous line from Hillary Clinton saying, if we broke up the banks tomorrow, would that end? She did say that. I think Jennifer Welsh would disagree with you on churches. It depends on your own personal experience. It depends on your own personal experience. This isn't to say, like, I'm not going to disparage church. I am not going to disparage places of worship off of anecdotes, okay? I'm a Muslim in the kingdom of Bahrain, and my early childhood was one of poverty. The first folks to help us was the Sacred Here Church in Muslim-majority Bahrain. I say let's not bring good people's charitability into question. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how we got here. I was talking about silly-ass Jonathan Greenblatt.
Right now, that they are not safe. And it's not safe because they have particular feelings about the state of Israel. It's not safe because it's been open season for anti-Semites. And so when you, again, say things like when he was an assemblyman in Albany, Brian, he sponsored a bill, one of his only bills.
Yeah, we don't need to shit on other religions to prove Islamophobia is wrong.
Called the Not on Our Dime Act that would have prevented New Yorkers from donating to charities in Israel.
That's bullshit. You are such a piece of shit, Jonathan Greenblatt. You are such a... Say it truthfully. Say what it actually is. I know what the act is. Okay? I know what it is. You're a liar. You are a liar. God, you are such a piece of shit. The Not on Our Dime Act was about divesting from groups that specifically were selling West Bank real estate, like illegally and stolen real estate in the West Bank. Okay. It was also, it's NotOnOurDime.com. The ongoing Israeli assault on Gaza has spurred a proliferation of U.S.-based, in air quotes, charitable organizations fundraising to support the Israeli military and violent settlers. New York registered organizations are at the heart of this, sending tens of millions of dollars to fund war crimes waged by the Israeli military units devastating Gaza and emboldened settlers expelling Palestinians from their homes. By allowing these groups to masquerade as charities, New York State is subsidizing Israel's illegal settlement expansion and state violence against Palestinians. This is a perfectly appropriate, perfectly lawful mode of resistance that isn't even a mode of resistance, honestly. It's just saying, like, abide by the fucking pre-existing laws. It's more urgent than ever to stop this flow of money, which is why we launched the Not On Our Dime campaign. We first introduced the bill in May of 2023, which was the most violent year on record for the Palestinians in the West Bank. Remember, May of 2023, okay, before October 7. In May of 2024, 1 year later, we are expanding the bill's scope in light of the surge in New York-based charitable organizations of fundraising to support, to support the Israeli military, which both domestic and international courts, as well as legal experts, have said is plausibly committing genocide in Gaza. The call has never been clearer. New Yorkers do not stand for funding war crimes or violations of human rights. How fucking insane is that? That he's like, oh, they want Jewish charities to not exist. Yeah, Brad Lander also supported Not On Our Dime Act. Brad Lander also is a comptroller divested from Israel. But Brad Lander is Jewish. He's a high-profile Jewish person in New York politics. So obviously, if fucking this bald dipshit were to focus his ire on Brad Lander, I'm sure it would look a little silly to his donors, and it would look a little silly to everyone else on the outside.
If he didn't like their
And he's
policy.
for the BDS movement, too.
For the BDS movement, which he says is a nonviolent movement, and yet it causes violence.
Wait,
So-
how? He's like, the BDS movement is nonviolent, but it causes violence. Okay? Yeah. Listen. Brian, if I can't fund the settlers in the West Bank that are doing pogroms and just shooting Palestinians on illegally occupied Palestinian territory, that's literally like you're shooting me. Okay? Excuse me. We have to keep funding these guys. We have to. Otherwise, it's like you want me dead. This is really messed up.
And again, the globalize the intifada phrase, I mean, it was like pulling teeth. And he's still, as I sit here, what is today, the 6th, November the 6th? He still has not said that globalize the intifada, which is a call for violence that invokes the slaughter.
So Jonathan, look at this.
Mamdani has demonstrated a pragmatism and iterated his views on free buses. He's iterated his views on law enforcement. He's iterated and evolved his views on some economics.
But he won't evolve his views on Israel. I wonder why.
But you know what's the one thing where he has never evolved, never shown flexibility, never changed? It's things related to the Jewish state. Since he was in college.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my bad. To the Jewish state. Just say fucking Israel, bitch. Just say Israel, asshole. Do you have any guests or IRL today? No, brother. What the fuck? God, the ADL is such a fucking joke. It's such a cancerous entity in American politics. Even when it's like losing most of its motion, I still find myself incredibly annoyed. I hate that the mainstream media still props this asshole up.
And organized a Students for Justice in Palestine chapter at Bowdoin, where, SJP is the group that leads the harassment and the violative acts against Jews all over the country. He started their chapter at his undergraduate. Again,
Right.
He was a rapper who rapped lovingly about the individuals who were indicted and arrested by the FBI.
This makes me kind of happy, though, because, like, I am smoking on the fucking ADL's institutional relevance pack, you know? I think he's just going to get increasingly manic. I don't think he's going to. He is a rapper who rapped, Brian. He is a rapper who rapped. You sound like a fucking lunatic, man. My baldest and, dare I say, boldest op. My baldest op is losing his mind again. Zoran Mamdani, he's gone above and to prove that he will be a mayor for all New Yorkers. At some point, you have to admit this is racist hysteria. Kind of like your ex-co-host and your ops, he will get more and more unhinged as the ADL becomes more irrelevant day by day. Yeah, he's not even worth the tweet. Move on. No, I wanna keep fucking pushing. He's gone above and beyond to prove that he'll be a mayor for all New Yorkers. At some point, you have to admit this is racist hysteria about a mayor who has the majority position on Israel. Gang, don't tap the glass. No, I'm tapping it. Zohar Mamdani has never done a single anti-Semitic thing. He's gone above and beyond to prove that he will be a mayor for all New Yorkers. At some point, you have to admit this is racist hysteria about a Muslim mayor who has the majority position on Israel. It's also fucking crazy to do this at a time when, like, there is unprecedented anti-Semitism. Director of the Anne Frank Center in Frankfurt, AFD is pro-Jew, not because they love Jews, but because they hate Muslims. Wait, what? You don't need to love Jews, you just need to hate Muslims? A pretty strong summary of American foreign policy? That is, wait, I'm confused about that statement. Like, they just straight up said it? Like, or were they critical of this attitude? My family keeps telling me Zoran has said bad things about Jews. I keep asking them for evidence because he quite literally has never said anything negative about members of the Jewish religion. They keep ghosting me. Yeah. It's always like, you know what's crazy? Because he's running for fucking mayor, or was running for mayor, right? He's also extra careful. He's a Muslim dude running for mayor in a very sensitive media environment. So he's extra careful. Like, at least with me, you could point to like shit out of context. You know what I mean? At least with someone like myself, you could be like, oh, well, remember Hasan said Jews are inbred. No, I didn't. I did not say Jews are inbred, you fucking animal. I specifically was talking about the settlers that were destroying, the settlers that were destroying aid going into Gaza, as I do with all reactionary people. Like, I call the Klan inbred too. But at least you could just like point to something like that. Something that's like completely fucking clipped out of context or something. He doesn't even have that shit. Is the Klan Jewish now? I mean, there is a KKK style structure in Israel. Yes. It's called the Jewish Power Party. Yes. Mendel, Professor Maren Mendel, the director of the Anne Frank Center in Frankfurt, in conversation with Haaretz's English editor-in-chief, Esther, the alliance between Israel and Europe's far-right leadership, Netanyahu, Orban, and the extremists in the U.S. The AfD, Alternative für Deutschland Party, is pro-Jew, not because they love the Jews, they hate the Jews, but they hate Muslims more. And so they say they are for Israel, Mendel said, because the Jews won't be here in Germany if they are in Israel, and we can marginalize the Muslims and stop migrations and for a good cause, he said, referring to the views of the AfD. The cause is fighting anti-Semitism, he added. I still can't understand if this is a critique of the AfD or if he is riding with the AfD. He's saying they hate Muslims and therefore they like Israel. Like, this is my criticism of, this is me. He's critical, dumbass, Lamau. Maren Mendel is critical of the AfD 100%. Oh, okay, thank God. I'm sorry. When I hear Germans, it's just like freaks me out a little bit. He's married to a Muslim woman. Oh, thank God. I thought, dude, listen to me. I have heard from Germans this exact kind of statement. I've heard this exact kind of statement from Germans that are actually saying like, no, it's good. Like, the AfD is a force for good for this reason. Oh, I apologize to Professor Maren Mendel. He's anti-AfD, but subscribes to the same anti-Palestinian racism and pro-apartheid. He's a liberal Zionist. Muslim wife stands for the same thing, giving it. Oh, he is. Well, I mean, I don't know, but it seems like he's still anti-AfD. So he's not actually saying it's a good thing that the AfD is like presenting themselves as pro-Jew because Israel, because they're pro-Israel, because Israel is like killing Muslims. Where the fuck was I? Hold on. Wait, let's finish this Greenblatt thing.
Ryan, the persistent kernel throughout his politics, in this short career.
Brother, I've been burned by the German left, okay? Fix your exposure, you're pure white. It's just...
has been animus toward the Jewish state. Now, look, by the way, what's amazing and why our antenna is up, he has no animus toward the country of Uganda, where he is from, where it is a crime punishable by death to be gay or lesbian. He has no apparent problem with that.
Oh, what about
He
Hamas? That's Hamas too. Hamas has got zero tolerance to homosexuality. He has not said Hamas is a terrorist network. So
Not a word.
There's also a lie as far as like Uganda, but that's also fucking ridiculous. A few moments later, he outright calls Mamdani a danger to the Jewish community.
Again, based on, I've worked in this game for a while. It is beyond me how the people give their endorsements and he doesn't reciprocate. But look, you know why he doesn't reciprocate? Because he's not a Democrat, Brian. He's a socialist. He is a member of the DSA. So I can't speak to what Governor Hochul was thinking, but it was deeply, deeply disappointing.
yeah.
He would endorse this guy when she knows he is a clear and present danger to our community.
So just by the way, his remarks were so divisive yesterday. You would think after winning.
Oh God, I do love them fucking losing their minds though. Every one of my enemies, every single one of my biggest ops are fucking losing their minds. I mean, hey, let's look at Tommy Tuberville. Okay, so we saw Jonathan Greenblatt lose his goddamn mind.
Happened in New York. We lost New York. It will be completely Muslim in 3 or 4 years. That's what they want. They're going to have everything free there for them, and they're just going to spread throughout the country.
Okay, that sounds awesome though. Like everything is going to be free. Like, is he making an affirmative statement about Islamic style communism? Is that what he's saying? I think this is by far the best example of delusion was this statement. Stand with us. Look at the first sentence of the second paragraph. Mamdani has promoted an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, falsely blaming Israelis for case of police brutality in New York. Openly supports the anti-Israel BDS. Yeah, no, totally. That's such an anti-Semitic statement. Okay, bitch. Then don't fucking train the NYPD then. Like, what do you mean? You can't, on the one hand, lean into like sometimes I feel like Israel just like does shit that is like tropes, like a list of tropes. And Israel's like, ooh, if we lean into this, and then someone says like, oh, this is fucked up. Why are you doing this? We could just like, oh, that's anti-Semitic. Like, what do you mean? You can't call that anti-Semitic when it's like also something that you're doing. It makes no fucking sense. It also has a secondary, maybe unintentional or maybe intentional purpose or outcome, rather. It has a secondary outcome of making people think, okay, well, if this is fake, what else is fake? It makes people go, hold on. I know for a fact that this is not anti-Semitism. This is just like a thing that's happening. So if you're calling this anti-Semitism falsely, what else have you lied about? Is the question that people engage with. And then that leads them down the fucking right-wing reactionary anti-Semitic pipeline. At the end of that pipeline is Holocaust denial. That's how you arrive at all these fucking people who are like, I'm noticing. You're noticing. I'm noticing things. Like, meanwhile, half the shit that you're noticing, okay, in your noticing attitude is just like normal stuff, okay? Oh, wow, you noticed that the Abi is a supremely powerful entity in American politics, a supremely powerful force in American politics. Wow. Oh my God. What a fucking major revelation, dude. Like, wow, you really arrived at some sort of secret hidden truth. Congratulations. But do you see why people think it's some secret hidden truth? Because of the way people communicate about this shit. Okay? That's why. If you make normal, truthful statements somehow impossible to fucking state, that creates an opening for people to lean into. That creates an opening for people to lean into like actual dangerous, malicious, awful anti-Semitic conspiracies. Bro, the ADL has to explain why there's an NYPD cop in my random ass city in Israel. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're getting him out of there. Zohran Mamdani is going to bring him back. Zohran Mamdani is going to first send his ass to Mecca, okay, and make him revert to Islam, and then bring his ass back to Mamdanistan. Just a single NYPD cop on the beat? No, it's literally, they have a liaison office. The NYPD has a liaison office in that one Chatter's town in Israel. Apparently, according to his statement, 5 minutes away from his house. which is crazy. Why the fuck's that the case? Can't be true, Lamount. No, it is. It's real. It's in Kfar Saba. It's funny because that chatter found out about that not from living in Kfar Saba, but from me talking about it on this broadcast. Like, it's not just in Israel as well. NYPD has like liaison offices all around the world. It's a very strange thing, but I guess is primarily for you know, broadening their horizons. The more nefarious one is not the Kfar Saba liaison office. The more nefarious one is that like virtually every single police precinct in this country, virtually every single police precinct in this fucking country. Yeah, see, New York Police Department abroad. Virtually every single police precinct in this country has been IDF trained. Bro sharing secret Candy Crush levels with the local cops. Yeah. Anyway, look at this poll. Net favorables of things among 18 and 25-year-old men. Teachers unions plus 51%. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I don't know why teachers unions have Assad numbers with young men in America for some reason, but I'm on board. Socialism plus 16%, big tech plus 13%, that's weird. AI plus 7%, ew. Big business plus 2%, mainstream media minus 3%, Israel minus 23%. Anyway, with Israel, we can always go lower, but I was asked today on Morning Show about Mayor-elect Mamdani's support for the anti-Israel boycott. Jacob Ben David Linker says, Greenblatt is doing nothing to explain how Mamdani's positions and attitudes will translate into tangible problems for Jews in New York and other New Yorkers. He just makes us look hysterical and fragile. Oh, also, this was the why Mamdani frightens Jews like me, to which the response was, it's because you're fucking racist. You're literally just racist, which is true. Finally, a few months before October 7th attacks by Hamas, Mamdani introduced a bill in the state assembly that could have jeopardized the tax-exempt status of virtually every pro-Israel charity. Oh no. This might be the worst part of Brett Stevens' article. The Not on Our Dime bill explicitly calls for ending tax exemptions for organizations that support settlements in the occupied territories. Stevens is lying. Also, here was another Egg Boy tweet. The extent to which media people don't even try to distinguish between is very popular, specifically people who work in the media and are friends, is some kind of objective external quality of messaging brilliance is a little sad. Now, you might not understand what he's trying to say here, but what Egg Boy is trying to do here is to claim that like the media overemphasized Zoran Mamdani and his support because they like him, and the evidence of this is because of all of the places that he won by really wide margins. These are neighborhoods in Brooklyn where a lot of the media figures live. Okay, except implying that Mamdani only did well in white, college-educated, gentrified Brooklyn, lazy. Because Zoran Mamdani cooked with mostly black resident neighborhoods by plus 26, and mostly Hispanic residents by plus 20. And also by annual income, those below $50,000 got a plus 8. But another part of the problem with this kind of argument and the stupidity of this argument is that Zoran Mamdani won. Like, if he had run this banger campaign and he did Assad numbers in just Brooklyn and then lost, and everyone in the media was like, oh my God, Zoran is so good, he's gonna win, and then he fucking lost, then yeah, it would be kind of valid. Like, this argument would be valid if Zoran had actually lost, okay? Even then, there's obviously other factors as well, and we should analyze them, but you could just be like, well, seems like a lot of the media hyped him up, but it turns out New Yorkers were not fucking with Zoran. But he fucking won. So what the fuck is this argument? Twice. Yeah, some fascinating exit polling data. 18 to 29, Mamdani by 60. Muslim voters by 30. Public transit commuters, Mamdani by plus 29. Renters, Mamdani by plus 25. Black voters by plus 26. Latino voters by plus 22. Household income, $30,000 to $50,000 by 13. Household income, $50,000 to $100,000 by plus 20. Honest and trustworthy, Mamdani got plus 49. Will work for people like me, Mamdani got plus 49. 55% of voters said the cost of living was the biggest issue. Crime was at 22% and immigration was at 9%. For black and Latino voters and for female voters, in the 18 to 30 bracket, Mamdani went with insane numbers. For Latinos, 18 to 29, Mamdani was plus 78. For black voters, 18 to 29, Mamdani was plus 76. For women, 18 to 29, Mamdani was plus 72. Doing outright better than Harris in some of the most Hispanic parts of the city while having a margin like 28 points worse than what she had against Trump is lunacy and major proof of concept for left populist theories on winning back working class voters. It's so crazy to me that the Democrats literally spent the last 9 months being like, how do we lose the working class? How the fuck did we lose the working class? How do we lose men? How do we lose the Latino voters? And you got this motherfucker who was like, bet. And they're like, actually, that's wrong and bad. And he's bad. Or it's insignificant. It's inconsequential. Actually. Yeah, Gen Z men are conservative, blah, 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 all this shit. Didn't we have data like this for Bernie? Won't them ignore this too? No. Dems can't ignore this because Bernie lost. Okay? That's it. You can't ignore a winner. You can continue to plug your ears and say, la, 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 I can't hear you to someone who unfortunately loses. But you can't do that when they not only win the primary, but then they win the general in spite of the establishments of both parties actively attacking you. Yeah, his biggest demo were black men. Zoran's strongest demographic was black men. Interesting. I need y'all to say white men from now on. Don't hide behind the term men no more. Yeah. Zoran won black men by 56%, dude. I mean, I don't know how stable some of these exit polls are actually. And we'll have to figure it out later down the line, because like it blows my mind that black men outperform black women. That actually shocks me. Someone said, what about access with the VIP section? I can't believe there's still motherfuckers who get duped this easily on the internet, dude. Some of y'all can't be saved. I'm sorry. Black women include the 60 plus Dem, the churchgoers who immediately hear Cuomo and vote for him. I don't know. Like I said, it's an exit poll, so we'll see. There's no way more black women voted for Cuomo. This is bad data. Well, it didn't say that more black women voted for Cuomo, but it said that more black men as opposed to more black women voted for Zoran. But I still have a hard time believing that. Yeah. Oh my God. Josh Kraushaar of Jewish Insider and Fox News Radio. Another one of my fucking ops. Final exit poll in the New York City mayoral race found Mamdani won. 66% of the Democratic nominee winning. Just 66% of the Democratic vote in a more competitive swing state or district loses in a landslide. Hello? Fuck, hold on. What is happening? Is housekeeping. Yeah, these guys are, listen. This is Josh Kraushaar of the editor-in-chief of Jewish Insider, another one of my ops. He is actively trying to disparage Zoran Mamdani and, in my opinion, failing to do so. But it's like a classic case of trying to undermine this massively consequential electoral victory in a three-way race. And they're just not going to stop. But there was one more billionaire Mulder that I wanted to point to, and that is the Canadian Kevin O'Leary.
So, pragmatically, I and others.
Yes, we're going to watch Z-Way.
Who invest in real estate have tried to.
Just want you to be reminded that everyone knows you abuse your dog. Please ban me. Do not ban this chatter. We are going to keep Dr. Anus in the chat. Stop calling him a Canadian. Canadians, this is your problem. Sorry. You are the chat's doctor now. Exactly. Oh, no, you say you're chat's dog. No, he's the doctor of the chat. Guys, this guy's a doctor, okay? We need to keep him in here.
At a meeting to figure out what's rhetoric and what's policy. So far for me, it's been crickets. I think it's a mistake on his part. I'm a rational person. I'm only interested in one thing, and I think he has to address this. I get it what he's doing on the rhetoric, everything for free, and rents don't go up. What happens on new builds? We need to...
An anonymous gifted a tier 1 sub to Dr. Anus. Dr. Anus, you are now a part of the community. Dr. Anus, welcome. Welcome to the fold. Why is Dr. Anus not responding? Check me out, please. Dr. Anus, you got your first patient. Dr. Anus, you got your first patient in the chat. Look at that. You got the nice little subscription button in here. You can rewind now. Friend of the show, Dr. Anus. Have you ever been to Israel? No, I have not.
New buildings. So let's say we need 20% more affordable housing. Love to invest in that. So we go to the debt and we go to the equity markets to do that. So my simple question to him is, look, I understand what you're trying to...
Can I hate on you and get us up? No. It is pretty funny that guys, that people come in here and say that. because I think they just can't they can't say anything else. They're like, please, why won't anybody believe me? That's it. Everybody hates you, I promise. Everyone in here, start hating now. Start hating him now. Just waiting on the crash out, to be honest. Okay, well, good luck to you, okay? Good luck to you, Dr. Anus. I don't think it's going to happen. Oops, this is the wrong one. All right, let's continue.
You got to get elected, but tell me how you're going to do this. I got to put $50 million into a building to build it, just to get it going. And the market's going to want probably somewhere between an 8 and 11% return on the construction financing. And then when I stabilize it, they'll be happy with 7-8% return. You're telling me I have to have frozen rent rates, even going into 3% inflation. How am I going to be able to raise any money for a new build? Not just me, anybody. How can anybody, including you, by the way, you, Mr. Free for Everything guy, how are you going to get that money out of the market when the return is negative? Now, what is the answer to that? Because people should ask themselves, how are we going to get a new building to live in or to have an office in or a store in the city of New York, which is in itself a country, when there's a zero return policy, a negative return policy on capital? Now, if you're thinking of voting for this guy, you're going to continue to live in rat holes as they deteriorate, but worse, there'll be no new builds.
Right.
Zero.
Yeah.
So I think he should, maybe not me, doesn't want to talk to me, no problem.
Well, he doesn't want to talk to you because he can't answer that question.
Well,
there's no answer to the question you just posed to him.
What I want to do is sit him down and say, look, I got millions of followers, great American entrepreneurs, families, millions of them. You don't have to go on TV and talk about this. Come on my TV. Let's just record an interview together, and I'll post it, and you explain what you're going to do here to attract capital. I'm the first $1 million check.